Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something pretty essential, navigating healthcare systems.
Yeah, it's something that touches almost everyone eventually.
Exactly. And specifically, we're looking at how cashless healthcare functions in India, what those, quality standards in hospitals actually mean, and who helps hospitals meet them.
We've got quite a mix of sources, practical guides, info on these accrediting bodies like JCI and NABH, and even details on healthcare consultancies.
Right. So our mission today is to sort of unpack all of that, make sense of it, and give you a clear understanding so you feel a bit more empowered when you're dealing with healthcare stuff. Okay, let's get started.
Sounds good. It's interesting how these sources show both the patient-facing side, like the cashless process, and the behind-the-scenes hospital efforts towards quality.
Yeah, seeing both sides helps put it all in context. So let's start with that patient side. Cashless healthcare in India. Based on the sources, what's the basic idea?
Well, the core concept is pretty straightforward, actually. It means your health insurance company pays the hospital bill directly for covered treatments.
Ah, okay. So you don't have to pay the whole amount up front and then chase a reimbursement.
Exactly. It removes that initial, often hefty payment from your shoulders.
But it's not everywhere, right? The sources mentioned it's specific hospital.
Precisely. This only works at hospitals that are part of your insurer's network, sometimes called empaneled hospitals.
Got it. And that applies to private insurance and government schemes like Ayushman Bharat.
Yes, PMJAY as well. You have to be in one of their listed network hospitals. Crucial first step.
So why is this cashless system such a big deal? What are the main advantages highlighted in what we read?
Well, a major one, heavily emphasized, is during emergencies, needing urgent care.
Right.
Cashless means treatment can start immediately without worrying about arranging a large sum of money right then and there.
That immediate access, yeah, that must be a huge relief. Takes away a layer of panic.
Definitely. And there's the convenience factor, too. Avoiding carrying cash and skipping the whole process of collecting bills and forms for reimbursement later.
Less admin hassle when you're probably not feeling your best anyway.
Exactly. The sources also mention it can improve access.
How so?
By having these networks, insurers might give you access to quality hospitals you might choose without that immediate barrier of their potentially high upfront costs.
Okay, so peace of mind, convenience, maybe better access. What about the cost itself?
Well, for treatments that are covered by your policy, it reduces your immediate out-of-pocket spending significantly.
Makes sense.
And the process between the hospital and insurer is often digital now through TPAs, third-party administrators. That can speed up the claim settlement compared to the old ways.
Faster processing, okay.
Oh, and the sources also point out the tax benefits. Many health insurance plans that offer cashless are eligible for deductions under Section 80D.
Right, Section 80D. Good point. So lots of benefits stacking up. Let's get practical. If you have this cover, what are the actual steps involved according to the guides?
Okay, step one, absolutely vital. Choose a network hospital. Before you go, or as soon as possible in an emergency, you must check if the hospital is on your insurer's list.
How do you check?
Insurer's website, their app, or just call the hospital's TPA or billing desk. Ask them directly. If you're using Ayushman Bharat, they usually have a specific help desk at the hospital.
Okay, network status confirmed. What next upon arrival?
Find the insurance desk or TPA counter at the hospital. You'll need your documents ready.
Which are?
Your insurance card or policy number, ID proof like Aadhaar or PAN card, and the doctor's note saying you need admission or the specific treatment.
Okay. And then comes the authorization part. That sounds important.
Very important. This is the pre-authorization. The hospital sends your details, diagnosis, planned treatment, estimated cost to the insurance company.
For approval, right?
Yes, for approval. They need the insurer's okay to proceed with the cashless arrangement. This can take, anything from half an hour to maybe a few hours.
And the sources had a really key tip here.
Yes. Ask for a copy of that pre-authorization request the hospital sent, and crucially, a copy of the approval letter once it comes through from the insurer.
Why is that so important?
It keeps you in the loop. You know exactly what was requested on your behalf and what the insurer has agreed to cover on a cashless basis. No surprises, hopefully.
That's a great tip. Transparency. Now, even with approval, you might still have some costs, right? What's generally covered versus what you might end up paying?
Good question. Usually covered are things like room rent, but often only up to a certain limit in your policy.
Ah, the dreaded room rent limit.
Yeah. Also, surgeries, procedures, diagnostic tests during your stay, medicines, nursing charges, maybe some equipment costs. Sometimes even post-hospitalization follow-ups, but you really have to check your specific plan for that.
And what falls outside? What could lead to an extra bill at the end?
Right, things to watch out for. Non-medical items are often excluded, gloves, toiletries, things like that.
Consumables.
Exactly. If you choose a room category fancier than your policy limit covers, you pay the difference per day.
The upgrade cost.
Yep. And if the total bill for covered things goes above the amount the insurer approved, you'll owe that balance.
Okay.
Also, don't forget about copay. Some policies have a clause where you have to pay a fixed percentage of the approved bill yourself, no matter what.
So understanding your specific policy limits, room rent, maybe caps on certain surgeries, and that copay thing is essential.
Absolutely essential. The sources flag ignoring these limits is a common mistake.
What other pitfalls did they mention?
Assuming any hospital is cashless without checking, that's a big one. Not getting the pre-authorization done cashless isn't automatic, and waiting until discharge to ask about costs.
So stay proactive during the stay. Ask questions.
Yes, check in on the running bill, confirm the status of your cashless approval. Don't be afraid to ask the TPA desk. Like you said, awareness is your safety net.
Okay, quick recap on documents to have.
Insurance card or policy info, ID proof, Arthur Herman, doctor's admission note, the pre-op letter copy if you got it, and definitely keep copies of the final bill and discharge summary afterwards.
Got it. Any specific advice for Ayushman Bharat users from the sources?
Yes, the main point is it's designed to be fully cashless at impaneled hospitals, public or private. Beneficiaries shouldn't be asked to pay for covered treatments at admission or discharge.
And keep their card and ID handy.
Right. And there's a helpline, 14555, if they run into issues.
That's very helpful.
Yeah.
It seems like the key is asking the right questions up front.
Exactly. The sources suggest asking, what's my room rent limit? Is this hospital definitely in network for my specific plan? Is there a copay? Are there sublimits for my procedure? Can I get a rough breakdown of coverage? What happens if pre-auth is denied?
Being prepared makes a huge difference.
It really does. It shifts you from being a passive recipient to an active participant.
Okay, so that covers navigating the payment side. Now let's pivot to the quality of care itself. Our sources talk about accreditation bodies, JCI and NABH.
Right, the organizations that set the standards hospitals aim for.
Let's start with JCI, Joint Commission International. What did the materials say about them?
They're positioned as a global leader, focused on healthcare quality and patient safety worldwide. Their mission statement is pretty clear, enabling the highest standards for everyone.
So they're setting international benchmarks.
Essentially, yes. They develop rigorous standards, including things like the International Patient Safety Goals, which are quite well known.
And they operate globally.
Yeah, the sources mention work in over 70 countries, accrediting or certifying over 1,000 programs, with hundreds of experts involved. It's a significant international presence.
Did the sources mention why a hospital would go through the rigorous JCI process? What are the benefits?
It seems to be more than just getting a certificate. Testimonials suggested it helps with team building inside the hospital, improves communication between departments. It also gives them a competitive edge, boosts community trust, strengthens how they manage risks, and importantly, helps foster a real culture focused on patient safety.
So it's an external validation that ideally drives internal improvements. What about NADH then? How does that fit in, especially for India?
NABH is the National Accreditation Board for Hospitals and Healthcare Providers. It's part of the Quality Council of India, QCI.
Okay.
Its purpose is similar to JCI's, but focused squarely on India setting up accreditation programs here, establishing benchmarks specifically for the Indian health industry.
So JCI is the global standard, NADH is the India-specific one.
That's the core distinction, yes.
Yeah.
NABH aims to build that quality ecosystem within India. It has backing from government, industry, consumers, but operates autonomously to ensure impartiality.
And both provide frameworks for hospitals to improve.
Exactly. They give hospitals detailed standards to measure themselves against, assess their performance, and figure out where they need to improve on quality and safety. Continuous improvement is the goal.
Setting these high standards is one thing, but actually meeting them day to day must be complex for hospitals. This brings us to the third element in our sources, consultancies.
Right. This is where organizations like Supremedic Consultancy, which was featured, come in. They act as partners or guides for hospitals, especially maybe for owners or management teams.
Helping them navigate the path to quality and accreditation.
Precisely. They offer support right from the beginning, like planning and designing a new hospital, through to the operational stuff needed to meet these standards.
What kind of services did the sources mention? It seemed quite broad.
Very broad. Things like initial planning and design, recruiting doctors and nurses, setting up the quality management systems needed for NABH or NABL accreditation.
Rabials for labs,
Yes, lab
yes.
accreditation. Also, calibrating medical equipment, general business consulting, operations management, planning staffing levels,
Hmm.
even helping with infrastructure like building modular operating theaters or installing medical gas pipelines.
Wow, that's really comprehensive. Almost like end-to-end support for building and running a quality-focused hospital. Did they mention the kind of expertise these consultants bring?
Yes, they gave an example. Dr. Sruta Ram Vishnoi. The profile highlighted an MBBS, so clinical background, plus an MBA in IM training, so business and management skills, and experience in hospital strategy and quality roles.
So a blend of medical understanding and business operational know-how.
Exactly. That combination seems crucial for translating those high-level accreditation standards into practical, workable processes within a busy hospital.
Makes sense. And there was a note about their business model, too. Something about equity.
Yeah, it mentioned they sometimes work with investors setting up healthcare facilities and might take an equity stake as part of their payment. It suggests they have a vested interest in the hospital's long-term success and quality.
So for a hospital, using a consultancy like this gives them access to specialized knowledge, helps them manage the complexity of accreditation, potentially saves time, and provides assurance they're meeting standards.
That seems to be the value proposition, yes. Bridging the gap between the standards and the reality of implementation.
Okay, let's tie this all together. We've got cashless healthcare, which relies on these hospital networks.
Right.
We've got the quality standards set by bodies like JCI and NABH that define what good care looks like within those hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got consultancies helping hospitals reach those standards, often enabling them to become part of those cashless networks in the first place.
It's all interconnected. The cashless system directs patients. The quality standards influence which hospitals are in the network and the care you receive. And the consultancies support the hospitals in meeting those standards.
Understanding that whole chain payment, quality support, really gives you a much fuller picture than just thinking about your insurance card.
Absolutely. You see the different forces at play.
So, key takeaways. Cashless is convenient, especially in emergencies, but you have to know the process, your policy limits, and the network. Accreditation bodies like JCI globally and NABH in India are vital for pushing quality and safety standards upwards.
They set the bar.
And specialized consultancies provide essential support to help hospitals clear that bar, which ultimately benefits patients seeking care in those facilities.
It completes the circle in a way.
Definitely. We've covered the nuts and bolts of cashless, the benchmarks for quality, and the support systems involved. So, as we wrap up, here's something to think about. Healthcare is constantly changing, with new tech, new challenges. Knowing how cashless works helps you manage the financial side. Knowing about accreditation gives you a lens on quality. How does being informed about both these systems empower you, the patient, not just to navigate what exists now, but maybe to push for even better clarity and quality in the future?
That's a powerful thought. An informed patient really can be a catalyst for change in the system.